Hey guys, thanks for joining me on my journey of joy, grief, and authenticity. I am just about to head into the gym because holistic health. Yeah, if you've been watching the episodes, you know. First time this week, though, let's be honest. It's the first time this week I'll be going into the gym. But I will be going in, and it's a Friday evening, so that's kind of a big deal too. I am so excited to introduce a series that I have going on with my Biffa, best friend forever, Biffa. My Biffa, that stands for best friend forever, Jessica Schafer. Jessica and I have known each other for a really long time, almost 20 years. I don't say that very often. We started out as roommates in college, and we're only roommates for one semester, which is really ironic. You guys have heard me refer to Jessica as my grief leader, and she is. She really is. I didn't even know people needed a grief leader, but somebody to tell them what grief is really all about. And that is Jessica. I am so proud of her and where she's come and how far she's come. It's an honor to share her story. Jessica's mom died of a heart attack, and it was actually just a mild heart attack, and it didn't do a ton of damage to her heart, but it did result in a lot of time without oxygen. There were 10 days in there where Jessica was beside her mom in a hospital bed and loving her so well, and not certain what the future holds. I'd love for you guys to learn from Jessica and to get to hear what she has to say about grief, because I value that so much. And she's a lot of the reason why I am here and I'm able to talk about grief at all.
The night before I'd gotten off the phone with her, I talked to her every single day. We lived about 7 hours away from them at that point. And Dylan would talk to her every night, say goodnight to Nana, goodnight to Papa. Then I got a phone call the next day on December 4th, and I was very confused. I thought that my dad was talking about someone else because the words came out so quickly, and then I realized, oh, he's talking about my mama. That was a very long drive because we didn't know what was happening. I remember telling people close to me, I feel like this is a nightmare I can't wake up from. And in those first couple days, we thought she was going to wake up. So that's what we were waiting for. Of course, you were like the first person I called, and you shot down there, and you sat down beside me, and I'm going to try not to cry. And you just said, I don't know what to say. And I just thought, that's the most perfect thing to say, because there are no words.
And that for me was my first introduction with realizing how unfair life could be.
Days went by, and they told us we would need to wait. And it was your birthday, December 14th, when she passed away. It was a hard time, and that does make the holidays pretty difficult. Not always difficult, but there are always moments where you can't forget the days, the dates, and you can't not put those two things together. You know, when the holidays are coming, I'm going to be thinking about these things again, and so how do I get through this, and what do I need to do? It was a shock to everybody. You know, when you're going through that, you feel like time stops, but it doesn't stop, and you feel like you're in a bad dream.
I hope you don't mind me asking this. What was that first Christmas like? Do you remember it even?
I remember bits and pieces. I remember I felt like I had to get through it, which I didn't like that feeling because I had a little boy who, you know, I wanted to make it fun for him. I felt numb. I don't remember the whole year from December 2007 to around December 2008. I don't remember much of it. And I think that's kind of a normal response. I just remember waking up and getting through the day and doing what I had to do. And that's pretty much all I could do. She never was one to have all the shopping done early, ever. In fact, she enjoyed doing it all kind of last minute. Well, I mean, I'd say maybe she did, but I don't remember her ever having a lot done. And that year, she had bought precious things for my sister, me, my daddy, my sister's kids, and my son. And they all were, she had written in them already. So that was a bittersweet moment. We all got together and opened them together. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I do remember that.
Boy, that is like the traumatizing part of losing somebody, is just the reality of like this is real life and this is not fair. And especially someone like your mom, like, who is just, as giggly and like, as joyful as you are. Your mom was like on steroids with the giggles, and it always felt like if I came to visit, and I would like come to y'all's house sometimes, or like see, meet up with your family, and I always felt like I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I wasn't in the way, I was supposed to be there. I loved your mom's joy, and that you carry that. And so, that's so cool to see you carry that, and then your little girl having all her giggles, too. It's, like, really sweet. It's really cute. Thanks for listening in to this episode of the ongoing series with Jessica Schafer. She is my Bitha, my best friend forever, and I am so honored that she would share her story so publicly, and so please be watching for future episodes. There'll be a few more. I'm not quite sure how many this will turn into. You can learn a little bit about what the future held for her, and then also she's going to turn the tables on me, and she is going to interview me. She's asking some questions I hadn't answered yet. So I can't wait to share all that with you guys. We've even got some really good bloopers because OMG, we giggled so much. It's hard to believe that in a video about grief, people could laugh so much. And so I think it's just such a representation of the joy that we continue to, we get to live in joy. And on that note, don't forget, joy does come with the mourning. Thanks, guys.